ya estamos en vivo. Voy a verificar aquí con... Estamos un poquito tardecitos, pero...
Vamos a tratar de la manera de hacerlo más rápido.
Hola, hola, ¿cómo están todos por allá? Hello, hello, how is everyone? This is a live video, so a lot of things can happen. And I have a special guest today, Rafael Escalante, who is an expert in childcare insurance. So if you guys don't have insurance or your insurance is about to expire, this is the perfect topic for you. Rafael is also, he's going to be answering questions, anything regarding to insurance. So if you guys have questions about pricing or about how to choose the best one, this is the time. So I'm gonna be waiting for a few more minutes, like seconds, because Rafael has a presentation and he's gonna be able to cover a lot of information that it will be so important for us to hear.
Absolutely.
Hello, Rafael. Thank you for coming.
Hi, lady. How you doing? Good to see you again. Now we switch the battery. We go to English now, which is good. So we can cover as much as possible.
We can do it.
Yes, yes, yes. Hopefully, they have a lot of questions like the one that we had just now in Spanish. They had a lot of good questions. So
yeah, so we need questions.
Absolutely.
Yes, so meanwhile, Rafael, you are talking, you're giving us information about insurance. I will be posting all this on Facebook.
Okay, sounds great. Sounds good. Hopefully, a lot of people, learn from this video, and are not afraid to, ask questions, get insurance, make sure they understand the risk that they're in, and know that there's a lot of benefits to having insurance besides being protected.
Yeah. So if you can let us know,
yes,
why do we need to have insurance?
Wow, there's a lot of things, we can go hours and hours of things that let me just give you a little bit of background on myself. I've been an insurance agent for over 20 years. 20 years I've been an insurance agent specializing in childcare. And such a thing, in order for me to keep on top of the game, I got to keep educating myself. I always am helping the attorneys when it comes down to claims, and I like to learn about those things because it teaches me how to try to educate other providers so the same thing that happens to other providers doesn't happen to them. There's a lot of benefits of having insurance, and I'm going to try to cover it as much as I can. And please, if you have any questions, please ask them. There's no stupid question. I'll be more than happy to help you out in anything that you need. I'm going to go right into the insurance because time isn't that much, and I want to cover as much as possible. So now they asked me to cover different things. So the coverage on a childcare insurance, there's unfortunately there's not that many insurance companies that specializes in this kind of coverage. There's maybe 3 or 4 insurance companies that do it. There's other insurance carriers that do it, but on a very limited basis. As long as you have some sort of insurance, even if it's not the correct one, it's good, because anything can happen in your daycare. Anything, any claim, any accident, any allegations, so many things that can go wrong. So on a good insurance coverage that you may have, the first thing that you're looking for is liability coverage. Liability coverage means damages to another person. In this case, the kid's parents. So if something happens to the kid, the parents are probably going to bring something against you. On a good insurance for your business, it has to include the accident medical. If a little kid has an accident, that kid needs immediate attention. So make sure that the policy includes the accident medical, which you can bring the kid over to a hospital, to a doctor, and and the bills will get paid. Unfortunately, there's a lot of this coverage that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but it's very essential, is child abuse. And when we mean child abuse, it could be in 3 different ways: physical, mental, and sexual. So that insurance, that package of insurance must include all of that. Professional liability. All of you are professional. So it must include professional liability in the event something happens. Negligence against you or anyone who lives in the household. Who, other question that I always get, who is protected? Is it just me because I'm the license provider? No, because of the fact that your business is in your home, the coverage must expand itself to anyone living in your household, anyone volunteering for your program, anyone working for your program, any substitutes, any of that, everybody must be covered. And in the way that it must be covered is in the event, in case there is an allegation, because something happened, that your assistant didn't feed a kid, your assistant hit a kid. So many things that could happen, not necessarily your assistant, but maybe your own son, your own daughter, maybe your husband, your wife, anyone. So the insurance must be able to cover you in the event there's allegations to that effect. Um, what else is covered? Field trips. If you give medicine to children, as long as you have an activity that has to do with daycare, the insurance company should be able to cover you for those activities. If you need an attorney to represent you because something happened, as long as you have insurance, if that attorney is going to be is going to be helping you, is not going to understand the childcare business. So those are the questions that you got to ask. And this is a little word that it means so much in the insurance industry, especially for the kind of business that you guys do. When you're doing your research for insurance, and or if you have insurance, you may want to ask the question, what kind of insurance do you have? Do you have one that is for occurrence, or do you have one that is claims made? And what is the difference in between the two of them? So let me give you the most important one, occurrence. For occurrence, what it means is, let's say a lot of childcare providers go into business maybe a year, maybe two, maybe a month, and they had insurance while they had the business. And let's say through 2 or 3 years from now, well, let me go back up a little bit. Any children that you see that you care for, they have until what they call legally 18 plus 2. But just for all of us to understand is until they turn 20, that they can bring any sort of allegations against the child care provider, as long as they were in their care. So if your policy is per occurrence, what that means is, as long as that you had insurance during that allegation, the insurance company should be able to defend you, even if you already closed the business, even if you just had the business open for 1 year. But as long as you had insurance and you had it under the coverage under occurrence, they should be able to defend you. The other kind of insurance is claims made, and claims made is normally an auto insurance, because if you don't have insurance while an accident happened, you don't have insurance. And no matter if they bring a lawsuit against you years later, they won't be able, because the accident happened then. So those are the things that you got to be, that little word, occurrence. Make sure that you ask the question. Licensing, when you get your new license, all the childcare providers get an affidavit, and a lot of providers get confused about the affidavit that they're going to protect in the event of a lawsuit. The reason why licensing gives you an affidavit is very simple, because in California there's no law to say the childcare provider must have insurance. So what licensing is doing is, well, you got to give this to the parent and say you don't have insurance. In the event something happens and there's a lawsuit against you, or it's a claim against you, if you go to court and you bring that affidavit into the court, they're not going to take that. That piece of paper doesn't mean anything. In no way it says you're not going to get a lawsuit against you if something happens at the daycare to one of your children. So the affidavit, it doesn't give you any protection whatsoever. But I mean, in a way, a lot of times people ask me when they buy insurance, should I still give them the affidavit, or should I tell them that I have insurance? Well, telling that you have insurance is not really recommendable, because it could be a double-edged thing. Some parents may take it, oh, I can get money from here. Other parents may say, oh, great, I have peace of mind that this child care provider have insurance if something happens to my kid. So what I recommend in this case is still give out the affidavit and just let them know whatever happens to the kid, that you're going to be responsible for them. Let them deal with whatever ideas they may have to get when you tell them that. There's different other covers that providers also get. Some of them, they add an endorsement to their homeowners insurance. Some of them add an endorsement to the renter's insurance if they're renting a home. It's a good thing that you're adding something to get some coverage, but the coverage is very limited, very limited. The accident medical is very limited. It doesn't include child abuse. It doesn't include neglect. It doesn't include a few things. So make sure that you understand that even if you have that kind of coverage, it's good. But if perhaps you can get a better insurance. And remember, insurance is not free. It's 100% tax deductible, so you can write that off. So think about that. That could also help you. There's now a lot of questions that are coming my way about agent broker. What does that mean? What is the meaning of it? What is the benefit that I get? There's not necessarily a benefit that you receive, but being an agent for an insurance company means they're not going to charge you any extra fees. They're just going to tell you right off the bat, how much is my policy? This much is your policy. Broker, they're going to be shopping your policy around and see who gives you a better deal. Or they already know who's going to give you a better deal, or they only work for one insurance carrier. But on top of the policy that you're going to pay for the premium, they're going to add $200, $300, $400 for their fees, for their services. So make sure that you ask, am I dealing with a broker? Am I dealing with an agent? And that will depend, the premium that you have. A lot of childcare providers also ask me about workers' compensation. And workers' compensation, the same way as you need a specialized insurance for your business, workers' compensation must be, exclusive for your childcare. Yes, there is a market for that. Yeah, it's not that much. A lot of people think it's very expensive. It's not very expensive. The quotes go depending on how much you pay your assistant or assistants on a yearly basis. They also asked me about home insurance, because a lot of childcare providers have difficulties insuring their home if they have a in-home daycare, in the house, because the insurance company thinks it's too risky. There is an insurance company that will insure you even though you have a childcare. With of course, with that, that you got to have insurance for your daycare as well. Car insurance. A lot of questions about car insurance, and people tell me, "Oh, I need commercial auto insurance." Let me tell you, I've been trying to get a car insurance, commercial car insurance for childcare providers for as long as I can remember. And so far, I haven't been able to find one. I was able to find one that will give you coverage knowing that you have a daycare, but in the event something happens, if you're transporting the kids, they're not going to cover you for that. But yet they will still insure your car if you have issues with nobody insuring your vehicle. Also, I was asked the question if I can talk a little bit about premium, how much an insurance costs. The insurance, there's different coverage that insurance company offer when it comes down to the liability, 100,000, 300,000, 500,000, $1 million. And what I mean, that is liability, that should be part of the package of the policy that you will receive. I already talked about the accident medical. I already talked about child abuse. I already talked about if an attorney is needed. I already talk about, professional liability, negligence, all of that stuff. So the prices of the policy could easily vary. The lowest that you can probably find will be somewhere around $480 a year. And the highest that you're going to find will be $1,300 a year. So that's more or less an average of what the insurance of the policy will cost. Or like I say, other insurance company may charge more because they charge a broker fee, because their premium is different from the program they're trying to insure you. So this is just an example of the policy that I'm giving you. Not necessarily means that all of the policies are going to cost that money. So with that being said, I think I cover as much as I can when it comes down to the policies, the coverage, what you need to look for, and all of the good stuff. Now, we're going to open it to see if there's any questions, or if lady has any questions that somebody already asked, and I'll be more than happy to answer those now.
Yes, thank you, Rafael, for
Absolutely
so much information. Information that sometimes we ignore, that we don't know how to ask, or we don't want to ask because we think that it's just a simple question. But maybe the question that you're going to ask right now, maybe other providers, they have the same question. So this is the time for you guys to ask. Rafael is here, and I don't have him every single day. So please take advantage of this opportunity. So Rafael, you were talking about negligence, and that is something that is going to happen. We have small children in our home coming every single day.
Correct.
We are humans, we make mistakes, but this is going to happen. So you're telling me that if I choose an insurance, they should cover me for negligence, right?
Yes. Not only yourself, but also any of your assistants, any of your, volunteers, if you have any, and all of your family members that live in the house.
Wow.
So they're part of your business, just because of the fact that you have your business in your home. So that's very important.
Yes, and Rafael, for example, I already had insurance before, and now
Hmm.
I'm with you guys.
Yes.
But what I happened with them is they were cutting me so many services. So if we are looking for insurance, we want more protection
Correct.
instead of less.
Exactly.
So and negligence is something that we must have it because it's gonna happen.
Yes.
Nobody's perfect, so it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Now you were talking about professionals.
Hmm.
As a professional, we must show that we have insurance because the insurance is protect our business, it protects us.
Right.
So you brought something very important, which is we as the professional, we must
Absolutely.
always protect ourselves.
Like
You
we
also
said,
talk about
I'm
field
sorry, go ahead.
trips. Oh yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go finish
You
up,
also
and then
talk about field trips.
Mhm.
In my other insurance, they told me that they cannot cover me. So like they keep cutting me. So
Yeah.
you said that your insurance cover field trips, right?
Yeah. And that's something that maybe because whomever you were speaking with doesn't have as much as experience that other insurance people have. And they don't take the time to read the policy and make sure that you educate your customers as best possible. And it could be there, just that a lot of times this could be overwhelmed with so many questions, with things, and people get overwhelmed just like you guys do. And maybe they don't know what to answer in the simple way to say no, it's not covered, because if I say it is covered, I could easily be liable for what I'm saying. But getting the right answers, make sure that you educate yourself as an agent or as a broker, that the service that you are providing is the service that you need to do. So yeah. And another thing that I also want to add is, a lot of insurance carriers, there's so many changes, and a lot of times unfortunately on the childcare business, the changes have been going to the negative, because like you say, they're taking away some coverage, because they think, first, insurance company think this is a very risky business. Second, this is just an example. There's over 20,000 childcare providers in California.
Wow.
Only 10% of those, they insure themselves. So insurance is a business like anything, right? So an insurance company sees these. There's 20,000 childcare providers. Why they're not buying insurance? Why only this much? This less people? So the less people that buy insurance, the less money there is to pay a claim. So imagine it's only 5,000 childcare providers that insure themselves, and what the insurance company collects is $4 million a year, and there is a claim. There's two claims for $1 million. There goes their profit. So that's why there's not a lot of insurance companies that offer this. I guarantee you that if they even there will be a law to say childcare provider must have insurance, all of these big agencies, farmers, Allstate, all of this will go into business, because there will be a lot of money for them. So that is the reason why a lot of activities, a lot of covers are being cut down, because they're trying to cut down on the claims that they're having.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is sad. So only 10%.
Yes.
That's why now I understand why there are not so many like your company, because there's no demand.
Right.
We, the professional, we, the childcare provider, we don't take the initiative. Maybe getting our something that's going to protect us, because it can happen. It can happen to the best providers. So if you are the best providers, it's going to happen to anyone.
Yes.
So especially to the new people who are just opening a childcare, they always ask me, lady, but I don't have kids. Do I need to protect myself? I only have one child. Do I need insurance?
Yeah.
What you can tell us about
Absolutely.
that?
Absolutely. Like I was saying in the past, I learned this from another childcare provider that is always helping childcare provider as you do. And they were saying, everybody started with a budget when they started a business. Start with a budget. Perhaps on your budget that you're going to start, you may want to put in insurance. Insurance is very important. And trust me, it's not that expensive, and it could save you a lot of headaches. It could save you all of your savings. It could save you a lot of things. So, and besides, like I was saying at the beginning, it's not that necessarily it's free insurance, but it's 100% deductible out of your income taxes. So at the end of the year, when you're doing your taxes and you're reporting your expenses, you're going to have expenses to report on your insurance, and you're still going to be protected. So instead of paying, I don't know how much you may pay to the government, you're going to be either paying less or pay nothing, because that's going to help you. So, it's very important to put it in your budget. Like I told you, prices don't necessarily cost you thousands of dollars, because they don't. And it's something that I definitely think that you can afford. And for all of this experience that I get, a lot of people tell me, oh, the way that I see it, if you don't make enough money to buy insurance, don't go into business, because all of the money you're making on your business, it could easily go away in a claim. And that is 100% true. It could definitely happen. It's not because of the fact that I'm an insurance agent for this specific business, but it definitely can happen.
Yes, and I'm not an insurance agent. I'm not a broker. Today I learned about the difference.
Yeah.
Now I know exactly what to ask, and thanks to you.
Thank you. Good.
Rafael, there is a question here from Elizabeth Martinez. I need glasses. It's lady, can you ask Rafael what happens if you get sued by a former client, but the insurance company is no longer in business? Wow.
Good question. And there's a good answer for that. Insurance carriers, when they go into business, they must keep a reserve with the state of X amount of money. So in this case, if that happens, even if the insurance company goes out of business, what that person needs to do is contact the insurance commissioner, and they will help her get the coverage that she needs. As long as she had insurance while that claim happened, and if it was under per occurrence, the insurance commissioner should be able to help them.
Wow. So the insurance commissioner?
Insurance commissioner. Yeah, that's like myself. I get licensed through the insurance commissioner. So insurance companies, they do the same. They file an X amount of money to go in business. In the event they go out of business, they will always keep a reserve. If something like this happens when they go out of business or they go bankrupt, that money will still be there in the event that something happened and a claim, one of the clients brings in a claim that the policy, the business is no longer open.
So we contact them and we let them know,
Yes.
this is what's happening, and for sure they can find a solution.
Yeah, they will research it and see, oh yeah, they went out of business. We have their reserve. We're going to help you.
Yeah, and I really thank Elizabeth, because this is a perfect example for those providers who think that nothing's going to happen.
Right.
This is a former client.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine this is a client that we were not planning to see it again.
Right,
and
right.
Look what's happening.
Or maybe come see them when they're getting older and say, oh, I want to thank you for everything you did for me, instead of getting a lawsuit against you.
Wow, that's sad.
Yes,
Elizabeth, I hope Rafael answered your question, and you contact the insurance commissioner and ask for a solution, and good luck to you.
Yes, definitely. They'll definitely be able to help them.
Yeah, so now you already explained about the difference between an agent and a broker, right? Mm-hmm. Are you guys an agent? Are you guys a broker? Why we should go with your company? And if you can let me know about your company,
sure.
How people can contact you guys directly.
My company name, we insure everything through Markel Insurance. We have a direct writing power, meaning that we write our own policies, and that makes us an agent. An agent means that we are, by law, we are not allowed to charge any fees, just the premium of the policy. When there is a broker, the broker, they can charge anything they want for their services. It just, they got to let the client know that they're charging this amount of money on broker fee, and the client decides if they want to buy the policy. So, a lot of times that broker fee could easily vary from $100 up to $500. There's no law that says you can only charge this or you can only charge that. As a broker, they can charge anything as long as the client agrees to it. So that's something that you got to look for. The policy, my direct number, if you guys want to, even if you don't have my services or my insurance, I can always open to answer any questions, or if anything that I can assist you with, I'll be more than happy to do that. My number is area code 323-405-5470. And that's a number that that's my business cell phone number. If I don't answer right away, I will definitely call you back. And trust me, I appreciate every call that I receive, even, looking for advice, looking for whatever. You want to compare prices, you want to compare policies, you want to learn something about child care insurance. I'll be more than happy to share all of the knowledge that I have.
And also, Rafael, you are also in Facebook, right?
Yes, you can, normally I answer questions on Facebook Messenger. You find me on Facebook, because I'm always trying to put in things there that I think providers may need. I'm involved a lot with the union. I'm involved a lot with different childcare associations, resource and referral agencies. I have a lot of resources when it comes down. If you need an attorney, if you need public child counsel, public counsel, which is really good access to have. They're always helping childcare providers. I mean, whatever you may need, maybe I can help you. Don't be afraid. Give me a call.
For sure they will. And let's see if there's more questions. I see people here, but no questions. Okay. From Elizabeth, she said, thank you for the valuable information. So let me see if I have another questions. So now, Rafael, a lot of the members from this channel, they are not from California.
Okay.
Can they still get insurance with you? Do you provide insurance to another state, another city, besides Los Angeles or besides California? If you can explain to us a little bit more.
Absolutely. Our biggest state is California. I'm based here in Los Angeles. But definitely we insure. I don't want to say all the states, because there's a couple of states that we do not insure. But most of the states we do insure. So if any of the subscribers are from any other state, which is a matter of fact, on the last conversation that we had, I had a couple of people call me from Oregon, call me from New York, call me from I think Virginia, and definitely we're able to help them. So if you're looking for insurance and you're in other states, absolutely give me a call, and definitely we can probably do something for you.
Okay, so if you are in a different insurance, you guys can contact directly to Rafael, and he's gonna be able. But what happens if they're in a city or a state that doesn't cover? Maybe you guys can extend the service a little bit more.
The only states that I know we're not in is Florida and
really
parts of New York. Like New York City, Queens, Bronx. Those are, unfortunately, once again, here we go. There's so many claims in that area that the insurance company pulled out of those cities, not the state, but those cities. And that's why they don't do that. But other than that, we do most of the states, in the United States.
Okay, so as you guys see, Rafael is national, not just in California. He's in different states. So just contact him directly, and he's gonna tell you, yes, I can help you, or he might provide you with other information that might be helpful to you. But right now, there is no excuse not to have insurance. Absolutely. If you are a business owner, if you have a childcare, you must have insurance to protect your business, to protect yourself. There is never too late. You can do that today, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Things can happen, and we just want to be protected, because I'm always scared. The moment that I know that a new family is coming, I don't have no idea how is this family.
Right.
You don't know what can happen.
There's like 14 families you guys deal with it on a daily basis, different characters, different ideas. So no, absolutely, it sounds risky. And that's why a lot of insurance carriers don't go into this business, because they don't think, they think that they're going to have more claims than no claims.
Yes, and now you were also talking about medicines. That, for example, if we mess it up, we give extra medicine or something like that. Can we get a protection from an attorney or the insurance, right?
Yeah. And what I recommend to my clients is, in the event something happens, any incidents, any accident that happened, just like when you go here in California, you file an incident report with licensing. I wouldn't mind taking a call and see, if there's something that the insurance is going to cover you for. It only takes, 5 minutes to find out.
Okay, and the good thing is that you are an agent, so you can give us our policies like
Oh,
kind of like the same day, right? And we don't
yes.
have to wait like a week to get an answer.
Yep. My turnaround, the turnaround that we normally have is half an hour, maybe an hour.
Oh, that's fast.
Yes, and as long as we have what we need, we should be able to provide you coverage right off the bat, right away.
And going to what you just said, if I'm a new childcare provider, or I want to get insurance, or I want to change insurance like I did, how can I, what do I need to start with you guys to get
Very
insurance
simple.
today?
Just a phone call, and then from that phone call, we'll let you know, here's the application. We help you out with the application as well. We let you know this is what we need from you. Normally, what we will need from the provider is very basic, which is a picture or email of the daycare license, their facility number, and and whatever you decide to do. If you want to make a down payment, if you want to make the payment in full, whichever it is. And once we do our part on our end with the insurance, make sure that all the questions fit their program. Off we go. You get insurance right away.
So we have the option to pay monthly, and also we have the option to pay yearly, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, so if you guys are just starting, you don't have to pay the full amount.
That is correct.
In the previous video, Rafael mentioned that it will cost between $490 to $1,300.
Yes.
So imagine that can be like 2 weeks of payment from one child for the whole year.
Yeah.
So it's not taking a lot of money from your business.
Right.
What it's taking is,
and it's going to give you a lot of peace of mind.
Taking away the risk.
Yes, it's going to give you a lot of peace of mind. That's for sure. And once again, it's not free insurance, but that's something that you write off of your income taxes.
And we need expenses, Rafael.
Yeah.
We need expenses because we make money with this business, but at the same time, we need to have good expenses. Instead of going shopping to get more gifts for the kids or more toys, protect yourself, please.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that.
Okay, so I don't see no more questions, but I wanted to say thank you, Rafael,
my pleasure.
so for again spending your afternoon with us.
Yes, my pleasure.
Making two videos. There is another video in Spanish that Rafael was done already. You guys can replay that. You guys can stop. And if you guys have any other questions, contact Rafael directly to his number 323-405-5470. And he's gonna guide you, he's gonna help you, he's gonna educate you. And that's what we need as the childcare professional.
Thank you so very much, ladies, for the opportunity. I'm here for you. I'm here for any provider that have any questions. It'll be my pleasure. And thank you so much for the invite. I really appreciate it.
Rafael, thank you again, and I hope you can come back to the channel and to bring us with more information.
Absolutely.
And to give us more education about this amazing career that we chose to be
excellent
childcare providers.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
A good afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rafael.
You're welcome.
Hasta pronto.
Bye-bye.
See you
Adios.
soon. Bye.